The next person I might introduce to you is Masayo AVE. She will talk about design experience workshop, sensitizing use to everyday environments. I'm very happy that she came. Masayo AVE is actually born in Tokyo, and she arrived directly from Japan to this conference. She's an architect and designer who has settled in Europe and has practiced both in Europe and Asia over the past 2 decades. She was founder of design studio of Masayo AVE Creation and Haptic Interface Design Institute, and she brings expertise from her international award-winning design works through her unique approach. So what she focuses on is cultivating the sensory value lying hidden within the industrial materials. Masayo AVE was teaching not only at Berlin Weißensee, but also at UDK and also at Estonian Academy of Fine Arts. And she is currently giving sensual workshops in Singapore. Very heartily welcome you, and I'm very glad you're here. Give a big applause to Masayo, please.
That light is quite shining to me. So good morning. My name is Masayo AVE. Today I'm here to present my experience to sensitize the design education to sensitize children and youth to the everyday environments as designer, as an educator. Yeah, I'm 1962 born Japanese. Actually, currently living in Berlin, and designer and actually architect, designer, and educator. That I started my career almost 3 decades ago as an architect, but since 2001, I started also to put myself to dedicate or contribute for design education to share at most my experience as a designer in practice, and also to share the most actual topic with the student. And 5 years, very intensively, I worked for the university as a professor in UDK, in experimental institute, which I founded, the Haptic Interface Design Institute, and 2 years as a head of the product design department in Estonian Academy of Art, as a trainer to train that young, motivate professional, young motivate student to be a professional designer. But meanwhile, I also started to find that some fundamental of the design education is not only for the design professionals, but for everyone. And I started to put a kind of the definition that based on this definition, design is not about a product, it is about a discovery process and sensory experience to analyze and to assess the quality of living environment. And the experience design begins with a close observation of forms, colors, patterns, and structures in everyday life and their interrelationships. It focuses on multisensory skills that can be cultivated in everyone from a young age. So that I started to contribute also to design, let's say, to develop the new design education program for children and youth that is last 10 years. And what kind of the design exercises are effective for equipping children and youth with the fundamental design skill necessary to analyze and assess everyday environment. This is a question I always put in my mind. And today I want to share with you that the one design set of the design education program which were implemented in Red Dot Design Museum in Essen in Germany as a part of the EU Proud project, and which was titled Design Experience Workshop. And that was aiming to sensitize children and youth to the quality of their living environment, and especially why in a design museum, because design education is still not in school education. So this was at the initiative of the museum to take an initiative to offer the new design education for children and youth individually, also as part of the activity of the museum, also in cooperation with the local schools. So that I made this pilot project for the different range of the age of the children. So that I just quickly share this documentation with you, and that hoping this can be a platform for the further discussion. So this was done design gymnastic to learn the basic of design with open eyes. So this is first step is the exercise to observe, discover, and draw. So that here the collection of the items which is exhibited in this design museum, actually it is award-winning daily used products, and which might be appear in everyday life of the children. And 36 colors of the oil pastels as a tool, and magnifying lenses are prepared. So these children are requested first to observe all this product, but observe from I gave that the focus point to observe the patterns discovered in the object. That is something the shape of the alphabet or the numerics. So this is not important to find the alphabet, but to give the focus point to analyze the different patterns. This is quite useful to let the children concentrate immediately. And not only the children, actually all this program I originally developed for the university student. So that many object has many alphabets inside. And then after observe, draw. But it's a bit different from the painting, artistic painting. Drawing of the designer is to visualize information, to register the information, to visualize the information, to communicate the information. So that what they observe, so from the point of view, they see the alphabet, first analyze let's say, matching the colors with this oil pastel, and then start to draw all these patterns. So I show some example. Oh, here is an X. So I start to see from this X point. And children draw. In this group, there is a children that she's youngest, 5 years old, and also can be, oldest was 9 years old, but 5 years old, from this indication, can draw as real as possible in this way. So that this is which I requested, as real as possible, what they observed. So first, it's important to observe. And then, of course, the technique is very primitive, but you could really see how much she observed. And so, yeah, behind the bicycle saddle, there is a big epsilon. So, and this shower head that has a lot of the O, small O, so she tried to draw O. So, so here you can see how they observed from this point, and then without missing any particular parts. And in this way, that the children don't have to care that what I expect, and they don't have to see who do better and to imitate. They can just observe and then concentrate. Oh, here's 8. She saw, and X behind. And this is the way that the easiest to remember all the details of the product. And so that after this individual exercise, it was about 90 minutes. I couldn't disturb them because they concentrate so much. So after the break, second exercise, let's go to the bicycle. So this bicycle took with all what kind of the alphabet they could find. And I didn't ask them to continue to hold the magnifying lens, but this becomes a magic tool for the children. They never leave. So many alphabets they could find. And actually, this was the result of their discoveries. O, I, B, 8, C, Y, from this bicycle. and from these bicycles also. And this is, they see that the alphabets or the numbers, but also that in the same time they put all the information about the materials and the colors. This is kind of the side effect. And actually 90% of the information come from the peripheral view, and this is the exercise for that. And next, biggest one. This is the motorbike, the 1,600. So it was bigger than a car. So now they tackle from the 360 degrees, and this is how, for example, the engineer or the technical person who have to repair, who have to find that the problem of the motorbike, observe. So this is the very professional way to observe the product, but they learn immediately. Yeah, so many. So many details. Have a lot of the message and the letters. And after these 3 exercises, we took them to the discovery tour in the museum with an open and trained designer's eyes. So children see the object. Generally, when children come to this museum with parents, they bored because there is not a product toy to entertain them. But now, with these open eyes and the professional eyes, they really could enjoy to discover, observe, and analyze the products. And this actually continue even at their house, at their home. So this is one exercise for this, the early school age children. And the second exercise, which I titled Touch, Listen, and Learn, and this is at the first material literacy workshop lessons for children. Actually, material literacy is something absolutely missing in a school education. We are surrounded with so many materials, plastic, chair, or the rubbers, or the wood, where we learn. And how to learn, it is so related to our lives. So that this is something which I try to bring in this design education, and especially for these primary school children. So the exercise 1, touch to the basic industrial material. And I say it touch, listen, and learn because that actually that this touch and listen, that the haptic and acoustic quality of the material is at the most basic to learn the material. It's not important to learn the name of the material, but to know, to acknowledge that the material by experience is more important, so that it starts from the touch. So the touch that I put in this wonder bag, that in the black bag, 10 basic industrial materials in the shape of the ball. Yep. And they have to touch without looking, and then make a kind of the color chart and the impression chart of their personal chart of each material. The touch relates with our memory. If you touch some material which is very similar with your teddy bear, the color came with the color of the teddy bear. So it's a kind of the very personal the acknowledgement, but it's somehow, if you have that seriously this color chart, what color come in mind, you could almost distinguish what material it is. So, and with this age, they are quite easy, so they examine each material, and then also that they do the expression about if it is warm or cold, or that have the rough or smooth, or wet, or the sticky, or dry. All these feelings which they have, they just note it. And especially this feeling of the temperature is very important that because the thermal conductivity of each individual material is a specific character. So that is the reason why all the material we feel different temperature. And also that that is something which we learn in maybe the class in the science, but never expected it's related with something which you feel every day. So to connect it, that I requested children to draw it. And then the next step, listen. Just by flipping materials, we could almost check what situation it is, what kind of material it is. And we do every day. But now here, just being conscious to listen and learn the materials. So all the material reviewed from this back, there was a stainless steel or marble stone or crystal glass or the polyurethane foam or the PVC or beechwood, whatever. And now they scrub or flip and to listen to its sounds. So the crystal glass and the plexiglass looks quite similar, but by holding, by flipping, you could really see it's different. And also that even the same material, PVC, for example, this one, that it's the same kind of the sound, but by the surface design, when the surface is designed differently, you feel completely different touch. So this is something which they learn in this second exercise. And exercise 3 is to learning to analyze industrial product by touching. So now the products came. So by touching, how many materials there and what kind of the texture it is. So that this is something, and listening and touching, they start to examine the daily used product. Okay, now let's go together. So with a bicycle, that how many different materials exist, what's used to construct this, the bicycle. So they also put this post-it up to the quality of the material. And be conscious that, for example, this structure, it's not, it looks like a metal, but it's carbon. So it's, they could immediately see it is something that different from the part of the handle. And then after this exercise, even during the break time, they become so conscious for everything. Whatever they see, even their shoes, or the space itself, classroom, their curiosity and their awareness going continues. And then I call it a material hunting tour, so that the children go around the museum, but already so conscious to touch and to examine. And this is the best way to, actually, that all the designers or the engineers try to touch to understand the material. So this is actually the most professional way to examine the product. Yeah, they see the product in a so professional way, not only visual, but by touching. And also the space itself becomes a kind of the wonderland. And this also continue in their own home. So the last exercise, so design anatomy. This is what's done for the one classroom came from the local school to take this design lesson. The previous lessons were 3 hours with the children, but this is full day lessons which can be included in a school program. So this was for the 14 to 16 years old, so the secondary school students. And the first exercise is design anatomy of natural products. And this is an individual exercise. And it's the same as the first lessons with the small children. Draw as real as possible to observe, to analyze, and to communicate. So introduction, and then the fruits and vegetable were prepared. And I gave the special tools to measure or to draw. And then matching colors, fast matching colors, because matching colors in the same time they analyze the patterns and details. When they take this specific color, they know what to draw with this. So these students are not particularly good or specialized in art, but with this method, everyone can draw. At least this drawing, to make a drawing to communicate all the information they discovered. And then in a certain time, that after examining the exterior, also cut in half section. And this exercise also complete with a drawing and also the text, which describe what is this product. Not talking about I like apple, but what is apple, how apple is constructed. So these are some example of the anatomy exercise. And then afternoon, exercise 2, with a 2-person team to analyze industrial products. But the same method, same way they did with these natural products. So these industrial products, I selected something very, it was not intention, but only girls participants for this workshop. But I choose that the product which is really nothing so interesting for them personally. But anyway, now 2-person has to examine that product together. Who draw better, draw. Who write better, write. And in this way, that all these amateur, the young students could do all this professional drawing and description. And this exercise actually that they concluded as a presentation of the product in 2. Who speak better, speak. And actually the museum guide was quite surprised because they know more than the guys. So this is the one sharing of my experience. And if somebody interested in this, I hope that you get some hint or that this can be a platform for the further discussion. And thank you very much.